Music is undoubtedly one of the human race's biggest allies. I bet there's not a single day in recent memory that you have not heard music somewhere in some time, whether that be in the car or in the background of a video, or honestly, anywhere, because music is everywhere. But just how much does music affect our health? Hi, I'm Sawyer Duncan, a 6-year band member at Wesleyan High School and an avid lover of music. Today, we are going to explore how music affects the human body psychologically, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So as we look through these topics, you may see how they overlap. This proves how the body must work in sync to function properly. Let's start with how and why music affects our bodies psychologically. So, music activates almost every single part of the brain. Music links many of those parts together. According to Matthew Sachs, a cognitive neuroscientist at Columbia University, the brain is always active. He explains how there aren't specific parts of the human brain for music, but that several networks become more active when hearing music. He then states that the networks are made up of regions of the brain that tend to activate together and in sync. Music has shown mental healing of brain disorders. Patients with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's disease have been given songs to listen to increase memorization patterns and also to try to spark memories from the past. Music has also proven to improve the focus of people with ADHD. Other patients used music as a way to aid their brain in the ability to use time with their body's movements. So, in other words, something like tapping your foot or moving your arms in certain timing. So, amusia, an impairment in the perception of music caused by some sort of brain damage or incorrect development to the brain. It's caused by stroke most often, so that's something they're able to identify. It can pinpoint people with OCD as well. Patrick Whelan, an instructor of the Harvard Extension School, he teaches a course on music and the mind, states that individuals diagnosed with OCD are incapable of stratifying the risk of the cues that are coming from their environment. In other words, he's saying that if there's sounds over here and sounds over here, that they can't figure out which one is posing more of a risk to them because they're like focusing on one or the other or both so much. So it also identifies people that anticipate bad things and engage in obsessive thoughts, so OCD people. So they find how music can prevent and resolve these behaviors. Not only can music help us psychologically and change our psychological activity, but as you've seen and heard, it identifies and fixes problems. Now that we know how and why of psychological effects, let's look at emotional and mental effects. Basic knowledge is that songs can, not always, but can make us happy or sad. Sometimes the opposite happens where a happy song makes us sad or a sad song makes us happy based on experiences. But it's true that music can change how you feel. Matthew Sachs also states that there's a whole theory of emotions that we have to be able to recognize in an emotion of a song to feel that emotion. So, in other words, if you can't find the emotion they want you to feel in that song, then you're just not going to feel that way. So why is this? It's the release of dopamine. So dopamine plays a role in feelings of pleasure, and it's part of the reason that music can help with depression. As I previously mentioned, music activates much of the brain. The striatal network, responsible for processing emotions, is one of the parts of the brain that can be activated by music. The hippocampus and amygdala glands, they control emotional responses to music. Those are other aspects of the brain that are triggered by music. So not only is there effects directly to the brain from like all music, but there's different parts of music. So aspects of music that can cause these feelings are different chords. So there's two types of chords I'm going to talk about. There's unresolved and resolved. Unresolved create tension. So in other words, if you're playing a scale, many of you probably don't know what a scale is, but it's 7 notes. It goes from B flat to B flat or C to C. And if you just think about it with any activity, if you don't finish the activity, you're not going to find the satisfaction of finishing the activity. So unresolved chords create tension, and resolved chords create satisfying and relaxing feelings. Another aspect of music is keys and keys. So there are two types that I'm going to talk about. There's minor and major keys. Minor keys are dark, can be said to be scary or sad, sometimes mysterious. And then major keys are happy, satisfied, and bright. So music has also been proven to help with anxiety. As William Congreve said in 1697, music has charms to soothe the savage breast. So, although we don't use language like this anymore, what he is intending by saying this is that music can calm even the most violent and aggressive people. Lastly, let's look at how and why music affects us physically. So physical effects come based off of a lot of mental and psychological effects. This is where you're going to see the most overlapping. But Olivia Brancatisano states that music can boost our willingness to engage in physical activity, ultimately benefiting our well-being. So music releases dopamine and endorphins, of course, and these make you want to move. And this can be anywhere from tapping your foot or to working out, as many do with music. This can also be caused by aspects of music, such as upbeat or groovy songs. Music, specifically Mozart's sonata for 2 pianos in D major, has proven to reduce the frequency in people with epilepsy. As mentioned before, music has mental and psychological effects that reflect on someone's physical being. Using this music to spark the brain's ability to move on command and in time. Brain activity that commences as a result of music affects the motor system. Now that we've seen how music affects the body, it is truly understood how much music matters to us as humans. Music could be even more powerful as a tool for the medicine in the future. So today we discussed how music affects our emotional, physical, and mental well-being. So what I want you to do now is to go out there and simply listen to music and let it work wonders for you. Thank you.